Welcome to episode 114 of the Inside Byte. I'm your host, Tim Schaefer. I'm here with my co-host, Rudy. How you doing this week?
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm doing pretty good, Just getting into the swing of things here. Week 2, back to school, so I'm kind of readjusting. But yeah, everything's good so far.
I was asking you before the show, I was like, how do you go about actually like doing all of the grading and I don't know, just the management of grading schoolwork when it comes to all these kids?
Yeah, man, it's especially now with math stuff, a lot of it is online, which I find really helpful. It's easier in my home setup on my computer if I ever do anything at home to do it on my my home setup with the 2 monitors and everything. You kind of do it like way quicker. But honestly, I try to just work through my lunch or other break most times because I hate bringing stuff home these days, So but trying to kind of do that.
You're treating it like as if you're a kid in school and you're like, hey, I'm going to finish all of this stuff in school so I don't have to actually do it at home.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. I really,
nice.
The thought of getting to Friday, you leave work and you're like, yes, no work to do, So
awesome.
So that's the plan so far. So far, so good. The kids are nice. They're good. They're very shy, very quiet so far. So I'm trying to
look. You don't have to answer this if you feel like it's gonna hurt you. But
sure.
I was thinking, you gotta admit, is there any times where you're just like, dude, I don't feel like doing the extra work. Let's just not have homework right now.
I think that's literally every teacher. There's been times where you're just like, oh man, There's been times where I like last year, for example, you have something scheduled to do, but maybe you're not feeling that well that day, or maybe like the class has been really good. They deserve to play a game or something, that kind of thing happens sometimes. You switch gears last minute, So
yeah, it's you. Okay, just curious. Anyway, thinking of a main topic before we get started. I mean, it doesn't have to go too long, but I want to do hot takes of just the spiciest, dumbest crap you can think of. Like, damn well other people are going to hate your take. Whether it's like liking something most people hate or vice versa, maybe hating something a lot of people like. And yeah, I don't even know what mine would be right now. I'm trying to think in the moment, but I just thought of this and I was like, dude, that'd be awesome to just let all of these spicy hot takes out. And I don't know. I would also just like to know your hot takes just personally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's a really easy one that comes to mind for me. I know people get very upset at this, so I'll just go ahead and go for it. I think cats are better pets than dogs. And I know a lot of people.
I agree, so it doesn't hurt me.
But it's definitely a hot take though, right?
Yeah.
In general, most people lose their mind over that. All right.
Especially a guy. Like most males,
people are like, what the heck?
Yeah.
All right. Well, if in the case of us two, that one doesn't get you. Let me think of another. Apple Music is better than Spotify. I mean, I like YouTube Music to be honest.
Yes.
She should be.
Now, Apple Music is better than Spotify, but YouTube Music beats them both. So.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's think gaming. Let's think like okay. I don't know, you hate PlayStation or something. Like, just, I don't know, just
right.
Really, I'm trying to think of myself. I will say this, okay, hating PlayStation. It's pretty obvious to most of the audience that I always grind into PlayStation a little harder. It's because I'm so annoyed that they're just losing their Japanese essence, and it's driving me insane. And I'm just like, there's no weird, cool PlayStation stuff anymore. There's no, like, weird baby commercials of, like, PS3 or something. Or, I don't know. They used to have such a really weird and cool personality. And now they're just, like, the standard boring box. And it's, like, making the same type of games. I mean, the system looks pretty crazy, the PS5. But not in a good way. It looks like crap. But and it's gigantic. But I think they're incredibly boring, and that's probably just because of Jim Ryan. He's just a very businessman and just thinking about the money. And there's no cool personalities. There's not a single PlayStation guy I can think of that I'm interested in.
Sure.
We used to, I don't know. There used to a lot be a cool, even like what's his name? Yoshida, was that his name? Yeah. He used to be a lot in the spotlight, and now he's just not anymore.
Way more, yeah.
And any cool, neat thing PlayStation did is just kind of not there anymore. And I think PlayStation is incredibly dull nowadays. And every game is just some like sad, serious, epic journey, you know. And it's just like there's nothing, there's no hi-fi rush, you know. There's just nothing cool or interesting anymore. It's all just.
That's definitely a hot take for sure. People would really be all over you for that one. All right. In terms of gaming, let me think of one here. I think you kind of agreed with me, but I'll say it anyway. I thought that Hellblade was not a good game, and I know everyone loves that game. God, I don't
hate it. I don't love it. I'm just it's okay. I like give it like a 65, 70, somewhere in there. It's okay.
Sure. Oh, how about the hottest one? And I know you'll actually disagree with me on this one. I'm even scared to say this. I just did not think Diablo was very good. I just did not.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about 4. I'm talking about
no,
3.
I would love.
I did
but
not
it's the premise in general. Like they're all gonna share a similar premise. So and you just have such this take of like you just click and
that's my hottest take right
I'm
there.
like
yes, thank you.
My mind is just what are you even talking about?
That's my best one right there. That's the one that will get the best reaction. I know. I already know. So there you go.
And, you know, play with a controller. Like that's what I really badly want to make you play Diablo with a controller. You already own it.
The only way I'm ever playing Diablo 4 is if I play with you or something. Otherwise, I have no interest in playing. I'll give it a shot.
It's so good. I love it.
If I play Diablo 4 with you at some point and I truly enjoy it, I will take all this back. I promise you. I won't even lie about it.
But I'm like, I don't know. That's a good
just
one.
To clarify
that's
for the audience, I will. This is my feeling on it, and again, don't attack me. It's just my thoughts, okay? I just felt that when I was playing the game, again, Diablo 3, not 4, but I know that they're not like worlds.
It's not
apart,
vastly different, yeah.
I just felt like Tim was making fun of me a second ago. I just felt that I was just left click, move, left click, W, left click. I just felt so freaking bored by it the whole entire time, and the story was not engaging me. The looting was basically like sell this stuff, put this on, sell this stuff, put this on. So like there was no aspect of it that was really grabbing me.
Well, three story is not even remotely interesting. So you definitely get a point in that department of agreeance. But
I'll give it a try. I'll give 4 a try with you sometime if we want.
4 has a pretty cool story, but I think 2 and 4 are like highlight story wise. I don't know. I really feel you would completely change your tone if you just played with a controller. I think that's all that matters with you, because I do see it. Like, that's why I don't play with a mouse and keyboard, is because I would be clicking on an enemy, selecting the skill, and then it just auto attacking. When I'm playing with a controller, I get a lot more direct input, and it feels completely
I'll give it a try, but I think it was just the design of the game I didn't like, but I could be wrong about that. So we'll see. But besides that, I'm trying to think any other gaming ones that really.
I don't know what's a franchise a lot of people like that you don't like. I think Mass Effect 1's better than Mass Effect 2.
I actually agree with you on that one, and I know a lot of people would disagree. And I don't think this is a hot take because a lot of people feel this way. But I know if you bring it up in the groups, people like tear you apart over it. But again, I didn't think Mass Effect 3 had a good ending at all. I know a lot of people feel that way, but again, a lot of people I still love the game.
Yeah.
But I really didn't like the ending. I actually agree with you on the 1 versus 2 thing. Interestingly enough.
2's obviously the combat is a little more engaging.
Much better, yeah.
Sure. But man, just the characters and plot and journey in 1.
Oh, so good, man. Yeah. So good. Let's see. Anything else?
Okay, Starfield right now. And I'll get into it, but it's just a sentence here, and I'll talk on Starfield later. But Starfield is, I think it's the best Bethesda game since Morrowind. And Morrowind's so old, I'm not gonna tell people to play some 25, 30-year-old game at this point. That thing came out it came out 2001, so it's been at least 20 years.
All right.
But anything after that has been just muddy, boring worlds.
Sure.
Morrowind was the last one with insanely cool creature creations and all that. Starfield is definitely I was flipping through the art book because I was so invested in these character creation things. And it came with art book thing, and I was just like, dude, these monster designs are so cool. It reminds me of Morrowind days of just being in awe at how cool the monsters look. That I never felt that way about others. So that's the one I could think of.
again, between me and you, I think you might agree with me, but again, in the majority of people, I don't know. I think Nier Automata is one of the top 5 games ever, like in the history of video games.
Okay, I like Nier Replicant more than Nier Automata.
Nier Replicant is so good. It's so hard to pick between those two. Man. I think the reason why I lean more towards Automata is because they both do so many things so well, but I think Automata does the replaying the story better.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what pushes it over
I
the
agree.
edge, you know. But the story in Replicant, as you know, the music, so good. God, it makes me.
I just like the individual characters more in Replicant, and I like it gets definitely way more weird in Replicant.
It does.
And I'm all about weirdness. That's what I'm saying. That's what bothers me about PlayStation not being weird. It's just incredibly boring to me. I need weirdness.
Go ahead, open it for him.
Here's a hot take. I feel in general when it comes to gaming, I'm always purposely picking the loser and finding more interest in it because when somebody's winning, they turn boring.
I think that's fair. Yeah,
and that's why I'm so into Xbox. I was in an Xbox One more than my PS4 and things with that. Because it's like, but I keep getting cool things. Like, I think Rise Son of Rome is so cool. I just like Sunset Overdrive is so cool. There's these weird, unique things that you don't like. Companies will try way bigger risk when they're losing.
And I agree with that. I mean, I've seen it happen. I've seen people push back on me. No way is that game a top 5 game, whatever. So yeah, I definitely feel that way. I could put either one of them in that spot. One last one. I don't know if this is a hot take because it's such a niche game, but I was just thinking about Pentiment and how that there's been like no. I feel like that game does story so much better than so many other games, and man, so many people will never play that game ever, which is unfortunate. But man, it's so good.
First of all, the fan base almost ruins it because they're like,
I know.
Don't even tell people there's multiple like endings. Right. It's not a fucking ending. It's just a chapter. Just be like, dude, like, oh, that's just the end of chapter 1. Now you play B, and then that's chapter 2. So once you say that, people would understand it. But no, you have to word it in some stupid like, oh, it's the ending, and you replayed the same game multiple times. No, you don't.
Right, yeah.
You go to completely different areas, you talk to completely different people, you do completely different things. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
And to be fair to the developers, like they even tell you when you beat the game, like
I know.
The game's not over. You have so much left to go. Keep going, whatever.
It's not the developers team.
I'm checked out.
Fault. It's the fans saying you have to keep replaying it multiple times, and it's like, what are you replaying? You're not replaying it.
No, you're right. So yeah, I think that's all the ones I can think of for now, unless there's something really crazy I can think of.
I think Nintendo's the best video game developers that exists and always have been, literally since day one, and still are. Like,
I actually agree.
Since NES all the way till now, they've never not been the best video game developers that exist.
Right. I actually agree with you on that. And that one will definitely make people mad. I'm so tired of people regurgitating the whole stuff about Nintendo doesn't do anything new and yada, yada, yada. Like you said, I feel that they truly are the best at like, if you want to really think about the most influential developers, I mean, gotta be Nintendo. They always affect everything. They always come up with a new idea, put it out there.
A lot of people don't understand the biggest thing about Nintendo. And Nintendo has publicly said this now. So when they make a game, they're not like, oh, let's make another Mario game. They come up with a concept for a gameplay mechanic, and then they make a game based around that. No one else does that. No one else comes up with the concept of how they're going to do a gameplay mechanic and then sort of create the game around that seed. A lot of other people will be like, oh, hey, it'd be cool if we made a game about clowns. Okay, these clowns are going to be killer clowns. Okay, where are they going to live? What's their backstory? And they just sort of make a game based around that. And then the gameplay mechanics come a lot later. Nintendo is thinking about, hey, what's something fun a person can do that we haven't done yet? And then they worry about like the characters, what world they're sticking in, all of that after the fact. And I think that's why they're the best, because nobody does it like they do.
I agree with you. Totally agree with you.
I don't like roguelikes or roguelites.
I'm not a fan either. There's
not.
very few
Yeah.
that I like playing.
I'm looking at hot takes. Near Automata plays, looks, and sounds like dog shit. It
Oh
also
my
has the
god!
most
Whoever wrote that,
self-indulgent juvenile story that I've ever experienced in
oh,
any
stop
medium.
it!
The
You
comment
stop that!
is it's so a 7 out of 10 JRPG. First of
Oh
all,
my god!
it's
What
not
the
even
heck?
a JRPG. I mean, I
Jesus
guess it's
Christ!
Japanese. I don't know.
Most people who say Doom 4 is better than Doom Eternal are people who simply refuse to engage with Eternal's game mechanics. I actually agree with you on that one.
Oh yeah, I like Doom Eternal's like
Oh
extra
my god, Doom
layers
Eternal
of
is
the
so good.
shield and the ammo and the fire and all that stuff. Like I think it definitely was pretty
Yeah.
cool. The hot take with Metal Gear, you already know, but 3's the worst in the series. And
Oh
you think
god,
it's your
I can't
favorite.
get
It's
I can't get
hilarious.
behind that one. Of course. I actually don't really like 4 that much, although I will replay it when it comes out whenever we get a chance to, because I wanna go through them again and
Yeah,
see
me
if I feel
too. I
different.
really want to replay 4 again, but you just kind of can't do so. So
This guy said, "You guys are Nintendo haters. Best video company of all time, though, and it easily has the best games." I mean, hey, Halo Reach is the best Halo campaign. It has the best story. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. All the Pokemon games are the same thing, and the stories are actually garbage lately. Can't say I haven't played the more recent ones. Oh, look, Roblox is minor attracted person's wet dream. Undertale and Hollow Knight have some of the best OSTs in gaming history. I don't know about Undertale. I played it. I just don't remember really. It was like kind of unremarkable to me. Hollow Knight, I agree.
I thought of one more. BioShock Infinite is the best in the series.
Ooh, that's a good one. I really liked the story in it. I thought the gameplay was fine, but I could see a case for that.
I mean,
They're
it's
all
better
really
than the
good. So.
gameplay in 1 because it's just that, but more, it's just a
Yeah,
little more
yeah,
involved than 1.
that's true. That's true. All right, that's some
Um,
good ones. There you go.
yeah. All right. Let's move on to the first topic, and we'll continue to crap on PlayStation. No. First of all, this is insane. This is
Yeah,
actually, I was not expecting this.
that is kind of crazy.
I was not expecting this. Anyway, PlayStation Plus gets significant price increase. So on September 6th, 12-month subscriptions for PlayStation Plus Essentials, Extra, and Premium will be raised to the following prices. Essential, $80 from $60. Okay. Extra from $100 to $135. And then the premium from $120 to $160. So from premium to extra, first of all, if people don't realize, the only thing you get in the premium compared to extra is you get those PlayStation classics that you can sort of obtain. But that is the worst
Right.
collection of classics you could possibly imagine. It's
Right.
just as bad as that PlayStation Classic that you can buy of like, here's 20 really bad games. Well, okay, there's like 4 good games out of the 20 that they threw on there.
Right.
Anyway, like you're gonna play Rainbow Six 3 on PS1. Like, come on, get real. Like with a D-pad. Like it's just beyond dumb. But that's the kind of crap we get in premium of just the most just they're just pulling out of a random bin. Oh, what is the game this week? And it's just actually it's not even this week. We get like a game every 2 months and it's trash. So I'm gonna pay $160 a year for that. Anyway, extra is like the sweet spot, especially like let's say you don't buy a lot of games and there's a lot of really good things in there, especially if you're like new to the console and you just
Right.
have a plethora of things to play, like Death Stranding, Red Dead, whatever, right? If somebody was like new to getting a PS4, PS5, I would definitely tell them like, hey, pay a year for extra, catch up on a bunch of awesome stuff, and then you can worry about buying stuff later. But now, not so much, right? They could pay $100 for a year. Now they're paying $135. At that price, again, Game Pass, 120, 130 a year, I want to say. But you're getting like day one releases, right? Where extra, that's not the case. It's just more of like maybe trying to attack a backlog is like the only goal there. But I'm not going to say, hey, go attack a backlog paying a price like that anymore. The biggest problem is just the fact of, well, one, all of these increasing as if it wasn't already enough. Like, I've been debating, I actually let mine expire 2 months ago. And just because I haven't used my PlayStation recently, but the very next time I needed to do it again, I was just going to resub. but I'm not going to resub for $80 instead of 60. The only reason I was even having it is to claim those free PlayStation games monthly, and I wasn't really using it for anything else. So I'm dropping out, especially after this. But this is a substantial price increase. Let's read what's after this. So current 12-month subscribers will not be seeing these prices take effect until their next renewal date occurring on November 6th. Changing your membership, such as buying more time or downgrading tiers on or after September 6th, mean paying the new prices, though. Sony also states that the new prices remain at a discounted rate compared to the single or 3-month options. Sony has not revealed the new monthly quarterly rates. In a blog post, Sony explains the changes by stating, "This price adjustment will enable us to continue bringing high-quality games and value-added benefits to your PlayStation Plus subscription service. It's worth noting that, for now, Sony has not announced any new additional benefits following the pricing updates." So they straight up say, hey, we have nothing new to announce other than, hey, we're just increasing the price here. When I initially saw this, I was thinking, oh, maybe they have something that they're going to add that's going to be, worth it and why you're paying more. But that's not the case. At least nothing they're saying now. Now, right. Do you pay for PlayStation Plus? Is that a thing that you're still doing?
I used to. I stopped. The only thing I'm missing is the cloud saves, but it's whatever.
Yeah. But again, that's where I was at. I was like, it was really for that. I claim my PlayStation Plus games, but the cloud, I don't want to have to. I'm not going to pay $80 a year so I can have cloud saves.
Right, it's not worth it.
I'm not doing that. Even for 60, that sounds dumb. But now I'm really not going to. Do you think this is going to cause a lot of people to not re-up when it's time for them to do so? How do you think this is going to affect PlayStation?
I'd be surprised if it doesn't have a significant change with the number of subscribers, because it's such a significant hike. It's not like some, a little increase or something, It's very, very big. A lot of people are going to be turned off by this, I would think,
What, so, over 20%? I mean,
it's crazy.
So
it's like ridiculous.
Xbox increased their Game Pass thing. What, I want to say $1 or $2.
I think it was something like that.
But okay, worst case $5 or something, maybe 10. But it's this is a huge hike. And it makes me wonder, one, what are they even thinking? Are they thinking, well, everything's going up, we gotta put this up because we need to make more money? I don't know, because just inflation in general. But they're clearly going to get hurt by this. There's no way this helps them. I mean, I'm dropping off, and I've been paying PlayStation Plus, since I got a PS4?
Yeah.
No. I mean, consistently. Now, obviously, I had it in PS3, that here and there. But I've had it consistently for, 8, 9, 10 years, and have yet to unsub. And this is my first time not having it.
Yep.
But I don't want to pay those prices. Anyway, what I'm wondering is, you think there's other people in the same boat?
Yeah, I think for sure. Yeah. I've seen, obviously, these groups are only a small percentage of people. There's going to be a lot of people who just automatically renew. They don't even think about it. But I'd be surprised if it doesn't have some sort of noticeable effect, or they change gears with the pricing.
Well, they can't just let people keep renewing and not mention the price for legal reasons. I'm sure they have to show them the new price. So I'm pretty sure when it goes to resub and they pop up the new price for them to buy, a normal average person just paying yearly for it, I think it is going to have their head turning and being like, maybe I'm not going to do it then.
Right. Yeah, I think we'll definitely see some. When is it supposed to take effect again?
It's already in now.
Oh, it's already in now. Okay. And then if you haven't renewed yet,
September 6th.
It should be interesting to see what happens there. But it sucks. It's a shitty move for sure.
I just don't think they're in a position, because it's not like their stuff was even they were already batting up against Xbox clearly having the better model there. Even Nintendo. At least for me, I think Nintendo has a better. When you look at Nintendo pricing, I remember people complaining about the expansion pass thing of
oh yeah, God.
Compared to this
money.
Is,
oh my God.
Yeah. Now this is a lot of money.
Nintendo charges you $20 for the base online. Give me a break.
Yeah.
$20 a year.
I just think that's pretty bad. All right.
I agree. Next up. Okay, Nintendo reportedly demoed Switch Successor to devs at Gamescom. Before I even read this, I mean, that really makes me very excited. That's awesome. We're more than 6 years into the Switch's life cycle. While the console has proven capable of providing great games still to this year, looking at you, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you'd be hard-pressed to find a player who isn't ready for Nintendo's next console. While rumors continue to swirl about about what the Switch successor could be and when it might be released, new reports from Eurogamer and Video Games Chronicle says the company showed it to developers behind closed doors at Gamescom last month. Eurogamer says its sources say Nintendo showed partners tech demos designed to demonstrate how well the Switch successor runs. Specifically, one of the demos shown reportedly a souped-up version of the Switch launch title, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Eurogamer notes this was just a tech demo and not an indication that Breath of the Wild will be re-released. VGC corroborates Eurogamer's story with its own sources, adding that Nintendo also showed developers Epic Games' Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, The Matrix Awakens, released for the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X in 2021, running on target specs for Nintendo's next console as well. VGC also mentions the Breath of the Wild demo as well, noting that the Switch successor ran the 2017 game at a higher frame rate and resolution than the original release. VGC says The Matrix Awakens ran on the Switch successor using NVIDIA's DLSS technology, which upscales resolution and advanced ray tracing. The publication sources say the visuals were comparable to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS capabilities, although it notes this does not mean the Switch successor will be as powerful as these consoles. And that's pretty cool, especially them using DLSS. That'd be a great idea, especially on they're using it properly, to make up some shortcomings there with the hardware. So,
do you believe this?
I think part of it might be true. I don't know.
Do you think that they were even showing people whether any of the rest of this is true or not? Do you think they were
showing people
the new whatever Switch would be like at this?
I think it could be true. Could be true.
What has me doubting it is just the whole I saw the headline, as powerful as a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, right? And I'm just like, there's no way you can't put that much power in a handheld.
Right.
Like, this is obviously fake. But then I started really being like, okay, if this was true, how, why, what? And I really started to think it through. The more time I've had with it, the more I'm starting to believe it. Because I think what's really going on is you have a smaller screen, right? You're on a handheld. Sure. 720, let's say it now does 1080. Well, the problem is Steam Deck. That's a really heavy device, right? So you're running whatever games 1080p and you're playing current games on that thing. Yes, it's possible, but it comes with a lot of caveats and all that. But that is just games made for Steam and PC, and it just happens to be it runs on this handheld machine, but it's not like the games were made from the beginning for the device. It just happens to run the game on a separate device, kind of thing. So the fact that you have a system. When you think, let's say PS3, right? Metal Gear Solid 4 looked so much better, or a Final Fantasy looked so much better than what was on the competitor's console, only because they made specifically for that console, right? So maybe, right, it actually did look similar PS5, Xbox Series X and X, because you don't have to have on such a big display. The very moment you put it on a tinier screen, you don't have to run it nearly as high as a resolution. When we're playing Steam Deck, we're actually playing 800p. You know what I mean? So you don't have to push it nearly as hard to get it to look similar to how it would on a current console. So, and then you have the DLSS factor of they're definitely going to have an NVIDIA chip. I mean, they had it in the previous Switch. Why wouldn't they have it in this? I think they are going to have a chip capable of running DLSS in the successor. That alone could make let's say it's running 720, but now it can look like 1080 because of the AI upscaling. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you can just run all of these current games just on a lower resolution. But once you add the DLSS and the fact of it being a smaller screen, all that kind of makes up. And it's just sort of and then when you dock it, maybe the dock has a way to also have power in the dock. So whenever you put it on a bigger screen, now you are upscaling to 4K, almost those a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X from last gen, right? They upscaled to 4K and did checkerboarding or whatever else, and it wasn't actually true native 4K. Well, maybe there's power in that dock to push it to a 4K screen, and then on the console itself, it doesn't need to push 4K visuals. All it really needs is about 720. And then you have that AI upscaling from there. And then once I start thinking all of this, I'm like, okay, yeah, I could believe it.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I
Yeah.
when do you think we'll either way that we'll know an announcement or any idea about
Well,
it?
again, we have that event going on. When's the event? There's a Nintendo event happening here at the end of this month, I want to say.
Gotcha.
Um. Okay. So okay, I get it. They already have the event. It started September 1st and it went from the 1st to the 4th. But because of
That's
this
it.
event, people are saying that they were showing people, other developers behind the scenes at this event. But it's nothing that people could talk about. That's why we even
Okay.
got the story, because it's after the event now. So that makes sense. So it makes me believe it. I'm stoked on just a more powerful Switch. And I
I
mean,
know. Same.
even if it's just a little bump, I'm still getting it.
Oh my
Like,
god, same here. I'm all over it. That'd be amazing. So
yeah, all right. Suikoden. Notice regarding release schedule for Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered, Gate Rune, and doing Unification Wars. We would like to thank Suikoden fans everywhere for our ongoing passion and support for the Suikoden series. Regarding the planned release of Suikoden 1 and 2 remasters, we have reached the conclusion that despite the very best efforts of our dedicated development staff to re-release the remasters in 2023, additional time is needed to ensure the quality, performance, and gameplay experience our users deserve. The entire Suikoden team is renewing our efforts to bring Suikoden 1 and 2 Remastered to release as soon as possible. We will be sharing further release information as soon as it becomes available on our official social media accounts and official homepage. We appreciate your understanding and sincerely hope you will continue to lend Suikoden your support. Thank you, the Suikoden 1 and 2 Remasters team. So, just a little update there. It's not going to have release this year. I've never played them, so I actually
me
was
neither.
going to play these remasters, and I don't care about waiting because if it was just any other year, maybe, but no, we're obviously good.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I'm excited. I've heard great things about these games, so I'm excited to give the remakes a try whenever they drop. So
Yeah, I always see Suikoden 2 whenever you look at like any like top JRPG list. It's always
hmm
up in there.
yep,
So
yep,
yeah,
agreed.
yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. Another
Next
delay.
up, another delay. Alone in the Dark delayed to January. The upcoming reimagining of Alone in the Dark is skipping Halloween this year. Instead of inviting players back to Derceto, something like that, on October 25th, the survival horror adventure will now arrive on January 16th. In a press release, developer Pieces Interactive offers a candid explanation for the move. Doesn't want the game to compete with October's heavy hitters like Marvel Spider-Man 2 and another big horror game, Alan Wake 2. And I'm inserting myself, Super Mario Wonder 2. I know it's not a horror game, but
Right.
just throwing it in there. Our intention is to avoid competing with the Wake Alan's epic release and to avoid the dazzling skyline of cities adorned by the graceful swings of Spider-Man. Pieces wrote, "We aim to truly remain as alone in the dark as possible. To honor this spine-chilling horror game has been rescheduled to unveil its horrors on January 16th, 2024. The extension will serve a dual purpose. Not only will it permit us to meticulously perfect the gaming experience, but it will also grant us the opportunity to fully immerse ourselves in the remarkable releases of October." I mean, hey, that's a pretty honest reason, I'd say. Probably a good idea. So,
Yeah, I mean, Alan Wake 2 had a very similar post, right? They pushed it like a week or two because of all of the releases. And it's
yep.
funny that this game's like, well, we're just going to go out of the whole year.
So funny.
So there's that.
Makes sense to me.
Final Fantasy 16 getting 2 paid DLCs and a free update right now.
I am going to eventually beat this game. I promise you I am.
I mean, I would like, because I'm done. If you beat it and you're like, hey, it's totally worth playing,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
I'll go back.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I got halfway through. I don't know. We'll get to it, but I'm busy. The highlights of the free update, which you can download right now, include alternate outfits for some of the main characters like Clive, Jill, and Torgal, and a Trosmalg ability for weapons that allow you to change the appearance of Clive's sword while keeping the stats of your currently equipped weapon. That's cool. Other changes are coming to the game in patch 1.102, including quality of life changes like arcade mode adjustments, new controller layouts. First of all, I absolutely hate that this game, the only way to play it on hard is to like beat it and then go back and play it on hard.
Right.
Like, what? Because it's too easy. Anyway, new controller layouts, additional system menu settings, and several fixes to issues within the game. Here's a look at the new alternatives, shows off the outfits. Yoshida also revealed that the 2 DLCs are coming to 16, though he doesn't say when they're announced, what they even are, anything like that.
Okay.
He does mention that the
supporting,
PC version is currently underway, like development of that, so that is a thing still happening. And that's about it for that.
I'm glad they're supporting it. That's good news.
Yeah.
When I eventually do get back to it, that's cool. All right. Well, yeah, I'll look forward to that. Again, I know we've made our thoughts on Final Fantasy 16 pretty clear here. I don't think it's a bad game. It's just not grabbing me the way I thought it would, and it's a very disappointing game. That doesn't mean it's bad, but disappointing. And so I want to see it through. I want to see what people are talking about with the story. If the gameplay and stuff gets better, I don't know. So we shall see.
Yeah, but I've said the same thing. It's
Yeah.
I think it's a good game. It's just I'm trying to play Final Fantasy, and I guess I'll wait for Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2 to get that experience.
Okay, next up, Zelda producer says there will be no DLC for Tears of the Kingdom. We have no plans to release additional content at this time, but that is because we feel like we have done all we can do to create play in that world. Aonuma told Famitsu, according to Genki. This time, the reason we decided to make a sequel to the previous game in the first place was because we thought it'd be worth experiencing new ways to play in Hyrule. If such reasons arise, then we may return to the same world, whether it is a sequel or new work. I think it will be a completely new way to play, so I hope you will look forward to it. Tears of the Kingdom director Hidemaru Fujibayashi told Famitsu, "We are very grateful that so many customers have been playing Tears of the Kingdom for so long and deeply. We'll do our best to make the next title even more enjoyable." Aonuma keeps the door open for a return to Hyrule. Of course, this Hyrule has made Nintendo lots of money, after all, but it seems pretty clear the team is planning to move on to something different, perhaps an entirely new branch of the Zelda series. Only time will tell, and if Tears of the Kingdom's development is anything to go off, it might be years before we learn more. Well, hey, listen, if that's your reasoning, I have no problem with that, Whatever. They made a complete game. It's not like Zelda's not big enough already. I'm not even a quarter of the way through that game, so...
I don't know how this game ends, but I don't want a third in this world. Like, 2's good enough. I want a new experience after this.
Right.
Yeah. Now, my totally not big brain, what anyone would expect is the next one just be a 2D, Zelda, right?
Right. That'd be pretty dope if they did that. I would be all for that, actually. I remember when we got what was it called?
And when I say 2D, sorry, you know what I mean. I mean top down.
All right. I feel like when we got Link Between Worlds, and then later we got the Link's Awakening remake, it was like refreshing. It kind of had the same feel to me, in my opinion, of what we're looking forward to with Mario, right? Played Odyssey, loved it. Thought it was great, and now I'm kind of ready for the other version.
Exactly.
This is the thing that we understand about Nintendo that I think a lot of people don't understand. They see Super Mario Odyssey and they see Super Mario Wonder, and they say, "Oh my God, there isn't so many Mario games." It might as well be a different franchise. It's so different. It's not the same, or even anywhere close to the
they
same.
come up with the idea,
right?
They're not thinking Mario. They're thinking of, hey, what's cool things to do in a video game,
right?
And they apply them Mario later.
Yeah, dude. That's like imagine taking, let's say, Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Odyssey, New Super Mario Bros. Let's say, and Super Paper Mario, and telling me how the 4 of those games are the same game. No, they're not even they're worlds apart. So I don't know. Sometimes I wish people would just give Nintendo a little bit more of a chance instead of generalizing so much. It's so crazy. Like, I'm not saying Nintendo's perfect. Listen, they do some things that I'm like, what are you doing? But some of their games
online sucks.
You can't deny.
I'll continue to say it sucks till the end of time until it's
as a company. They
anymore.
they sometimes make decisions. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? But it's like, I don't know. People trash their games no matter what. So
Yep.
All right, go ahead. You want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. First of all, this next story is the whole Saints Row developer Volition Games getting shut down. Now, before I even get into the story, here's a hot take. They deserve it. They deserve it.
I've never liked their games at all.
A big old jerk face, but they deserve it.
I will not.
Well, I got annoyed, even though I'm whatever. Like 2, 3, and 4. Okay, they're fun, they're cool, whatever. That's not the issue. The issue is when they're making this new one here, and they're catering to social media instead of catering to the people that are actually going to play and buy their games, to the point of they had a joke about okay, I don't want to word in here. I guess we're a clean podcast, but let's say they changed it to Gym Job instead of whatever it's supposed to be that starts with an R. It was that, and then they thought, ooh, that'd be a little too bad. Let's just name it to Gym Job, and it'll be Gym Job's Auto Repair instead, right? So they're trying to make like a satire game like GTA, but they're being scared about making all of these offensive jokes. Well, then what's the point? What are you doing? You can't make a parody game and worry about not offending this person or that person. Like, then don't do it. So that's why I feel like they deserve it. They're just like feeling like if they, like clearly in the advertisements and the main characters, it's these like young teenage streamer dudes, and it's like, dude, that's not how you're gonna make money. Okay, it may get you clicks, right? But it's not gonna have people playing your game.
Yep. I agree.
And that's why I feel they deserve it. Anyway. The Volition team has proudly created world-class entertainment for fans around the globe for 30 years. We've been driven by a passion for our community and have always worked to deliver joy, surprise, and delight. This past June, Embracer Group announced a restructuring program to straighten Embracer and maintain its position as a leader in the video game industry. As part of that program, they evaluated strategic and operational goals and made the difficult decision to close Volition Games effective immediately. So they buy them and then they shut them down. What a dick move. Anyway. That's some EA crap right there.
Mm-hmm.
To help our team, we are working to provide job assistance and help smooth the transition for our Volition family members. We thank our customers and fans around the world for all the love and support over the years. You will always be in our hearts. Now, they responded. That was the initial tweet, message, whatever. Now, they responded to this, and here's more of what they had to say. So, 30 years of making games. There are only a handful of studios in the industry that have been around for 30 years, and we took a lot of pride over Volition being one of them. Volition has been around long enough that some folks forget what we made, but they certainly know our games. Refrains such as Volition made Descent or Volition made Free Space. First of all, I don't even know what either of those are. Volition made Summoner RPG with that hilarious video are not uncommon. Sometimes it's easier to remember the games more than the studio that built them, especially for those that have been around as long as we have. But all good things come to an end, and so is with Volition. After 30 years, Volition has closed, and we wanted to say a few final words. To start, we know there wouldn't be a studio without the people in it. While it may sound cliche, as those who have worked at Volition can attest, it truly is a huge family. Volition stated with a team that has a vision for how to make the kind of games others cannot, and infuse that confidence throughout the entire company. We assembled an incredible, talented group of artists, storytellers, and creators who together built a culture that attracted top quality people who truly cared for each other. Time progressed, people naturally came and went, and often returned again. But the people were always what made Volition truly special. Do all developers feel the same? We know they do, but in this case, they truly was a unique culture of people that cared about each other like family, combined with the will to create some of the most unique games ever created. Thank you so much to every Volitionite who has worked here. You are all what made the magical place it was to work at, and we never say enough about how much you meant to us over the 30 years. Beyond our development family, we also wouldn't have a studio without our extended family, our community. For 30 years now, you have played our games. Sometimes we loved them, sometimes we've been disappointed with them, but you've always been there. We can speak for everyone who has worked at Volition when we say all the hard work and sacrifice we put in these games have been for you. Over these many years, we have enjoyed working on an extremely diverse series of games, and so many of you have come along for that ride. We can't thank you enough for sticking with us throughout all this time. We loved your enthusiasm every step of the way, even those times when we wish we had, or hadn't, gone a certain way with the Saints Row or Red Faction or Descent. You are why we kept making these games, and those of us who have been a part of the Volition family will be eternally grateful. Farewell. I figured I'd at least read their message because they've been around for 30 years and they made
Has
some
been a long
important
time.
stuff and all that.
Listen, I'm never happy if a developer shuts down, but I will say, for me personally, it won't affect me because I just have never had any interest in any of their games ever. So,
yeah, very 6 and 7's kind of team.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the games that I would play when I couldn't buy my own video games.
Your mom, picks you up a game, and you're
yes, Mom. What game did you bring me? Oh,
I guess.
What's the name of the game they made after Saints Row? What was it called again? Agents of Mayhem. Agents of Mayhem. Yes, this game's awesome, Mom. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, like any company, the more you think about them and try to care about them, yes, you can always care for this or that. But I'm just going to keep it surface level and be like, I've never cared about them. It's not my cup of tea. And moving on. One quick thing here before we end the news. Xbox has announced a digital... Actually, breaking news. Ubisoft X Defiant fails PlayStation and Xbox certification. So... I don't know why, how, whatever. I'm looking at the story. There doesn't seem to be a reason why that they said. But both PlayStation and Xbox, this game failed their certification to allow onto the platforms. So that's
interesting.
Pretty weird because I've actually been hearing a lot of good things about this game. And what I've seen, it's been weirdly looking good. Like it's been the one thing, this game actually... doesn't look terrible and was looking pretty good, so I'm curious what's going on there. I'm trying to see if I can see any answers. I'm seeing something about the platform holders is not based on the game's quality, rather it's about looking for compliance bugs. What does that mean? Like trophies not tracking correctly, stuff like that. Okay.
I don't know. That's a weird one. But the game, I have seen some stuff from the game. It does actually look better than I thought it would. So
yeah. Anyway, there's that. Back to what I was gonna say though. Xbox has announced a digital broadcast set to air during Tokyo Game Show this month. The presentation takes place on September 21st at 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern. So just know they're gonna have their own little showcase during the Tokyo Game Show. So there's that.
All right.
I am curious because Xbox is trying real hard into the Japanese market, and I feel they're doing a good job. So
they're
getting Final Fantasy 14 on Xbox. They're getting Persona stuff. They're actually going to get that Persona 3 remake to also drop on Xbox and PlayStation at the same time. So I think they're putting in the work.
Yeah, I agree. They're being consistent with pumping these kinds of things out. So definitely a good thing for sure.
I could see something like, Kingdom Hearts 4. We haven't heard anything about that in a long time. 3 came out. Actually, all the Kingdom Hearts games at this point are on Xbox too, so I can't see why that would stop now. Now that it's been a thing for the last few years, so that's gonna be really cool. So anyway, that's just an idea of like something we may see there because it has been a while, and we did already see some gameplay like 2 years back of 4. Last year, 2 years, I don't remember at this point, but it's about time we start seeing more of that game. So, we might see that.
No, it's been a long, long time, so that'll be nice.
All right, let's get into what we're watching, what we're playing. See here, playing Armored Core. Nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Fires of Rubicon. I must say, because the tire, it just sounds so cool.
It does sound cool.
I don't want to not say it. Continue.
It's been a while since I've had a game that I enjoy playing so much on my computer, and then I have just as much fun with it on the Steam Deck. It runs really well. Obviously, it's a smaller screen. The game controls so well that it's like fine. So I've been the only thing about Armored Core is when you're in a mission, you cannot quit. If I turn off my computer, it's going to start me at the beginning of the mission, unfortunately. So it's nice when you're on the Steam Deck because you can just put it in sleep mode, right? And pick it up right there wherever you left off.
Dang, that's a good point.
Yeah, but at the same time, the game looks so good and it controls so well on my computer. It's like, man, I really want to play. So just depends kind of like how much time I got.
I play at 120. on PC.
Oh yeah,
whenever I play
dude,
60.
it's awesome on my computer
Yeah.
because I did chapter one is like the longest chapter it seems. I got to the end of chapter one and I got stuck on this boss. He was really tough. He had like a pulse energy shield. I don't know if you fought this guy or not, but he was a pain,
No,
man.
I
He was
did. I
super
did.
tough. Okay.
Was that the end of chapter one where
Yeah,
it was
it's a
like,
level where you fight two bosses, right? You fight one boss who's like guarding some wall, you kill him, then
yeah.
you get over the wall, you keep going, and then you fight another one, and he's got this pulse shield, and in his second phase, he like starts swinging his fire swings and stuff.
Oh, so
Does that sound familiar?
I didn't beat chapter one then
Chapter one. Okay.
because that's the boss I'm on.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't beat him. I was up
dude.
till I
Oh my
started at
God.
10 p.m., went till 2:30 in the morning, eventually quit. And I'm
So
like, I can't do it. Did you do it?
I did. I figured out what to do, right? So remember when I told you at first I was having a little trouble, like kind of felt like intimidated by, mixing and matching with buying parts and all that, right? So by the way, at the arenas, every time they pop up, I've been doing them, right? And that gives me a lot of money. It gives you those chips. Those chips unlock, like for example, I got enough chips to unlock more health regained when you use a health pack, which is super useful. So that's just one tip. But when you fight the guy, I was noticing.
Let me make sure. Let me see.
His name's like Baltius or something like that.
Chapter 1 boss.
Yeah, he's got like the big EMP shield.
Okay, it's a guy that like flies around and has
when you first start the battle
to the left and right of him. But
when you first start the battle, he launches like 100 rockets at you.
It's
every
him.
time.
Okay, I'm stuck on him. I can't beat him.
All right, so I got you.
I thought I was in chapter 2. Okay, wow.
What I did was I picked all the parts that give me the most health. That's the first thing, right? But the weapon that you need, there's one weapon. I forgot what it's called, but I'll have to look it up and send it to you. But it's like it shoots like bubbles. It looks like little bubbles coming out of your gun.
I've not seen this.
Right? You can buy it, and that thing sacks his shield super fast.
Remember last episode I was saying I think I need to find something that gets rid of a shield good, and I didn't have that.
Yes, so I did that, and I did the mech blade, like the swinging blade that you start with.
Yeah.
Because those two take out his shield super fast. So what I do is, and then on top I have like, rockets and whatever else. Anyway, what I do is I, dodge his weapons, whatever, get super close, shoot the bubbles at him, it starts draining. And then when he's almost drained, I hit him with the sword. It does like mega damage.
And then he gets in a stun phase and you can just like
then you just unload.
Destroy him a lot, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, that one took me a bunch of tries. That was really hard. That was super challenging. So yeah, I would suggest.
I thought the end of chapter 1 was the bit where you fought like the thing in the desert, where like the big thing that you have to like almost like jump from one side to the other because you split it apart, and then you have to like destroy the thing in the underbelly.
I know what you're talking about.
I thought that's when chapter 1 ended. But yeah, you're right. This is the end of chapter 1. I see chapter 1 final boss.
What are the bubble guns called? The ones that I'm talking about. I gotta see.
What feat do you use? Because I've tried a few and I can't decide which one I like.
I've tried a few.
I guess the spider leg I think I like the most, like the 4, like the 4 instead of the 2.
Oh yeah. Those are good. Man, I can't find. I wish I could find the name. I want to find the name of the gun for you. Oh, here we go. All armored core weapons. It's got to be right here somewhere. Machine gun, shotgun. Hold on, I'm going to tell it to you right now because I want to make sure. Trust me, this is going to be a game changer for you. Watch,
guys. Just equipped a heavy build, heavy core, heavy legs. It trivializes mistakes. Someone's just saying, hey, just do a heavy thing and you got it.
I had a Gatling gun too, which is awesome. I think you unlock that after beating this guy, though. Pulse gun can shoot rapid high frequency bubbles. Is that it? Oh, yeah. I think that's. Wait, how do you beat Baltius? I use bubble gun. Everyone says I use bubble gun, excuse me.
And they don't actually say the name.
Like, come on, guys. Give me the name. Okay. I found it. It's the H16GU. Okay. Something like that. It starts with H16. HI16. High 16. Something like that.
High 16. All right.
Dude, that gun, oh my God. It's totally makes all the difference. I got to chapter 2, and man, I'm just loving this game so much now. It went from this is a decent game to FromSoft made this game, I can tell, like it's getting I'm really enjoying it a lot. The story is whatever, but I just love the arena battles, the trainings. Like I'll learn a lot of cool stuff, customizing my mech with the OS chips and stuff.
I have yet to like try to replay a mission for more money or try to grind anything. I've just been like progressing through, and then I got stuck on this boss, and then I have yet to.
Yeah, I haven't been replaying any missions either yet. I've just been doing the arenas. They give you tons of money, so I've been doing
I have
that.
yet to touch arena, so I guess I should.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, try it out.
what is it?
It's just one-on-one battles against different mechs. They give you like the lore behind them, and you fight them. And
okay.
Some of them are pretty challenging, others are easier, but you get a lot of money for them.
I thought that was PvP, is why I avoided arena.
Oh, gotcha. No,
it's not. Okay.
Nope. But yeah, I'm in chapter 2 now, and it's getting awesome. Like, man, it's just so cool.
Okay.
I just really, really like this game, and now I guess I'm definitely an Armored Core fan now. So,
what'd you think about that boss where the dudes were like shooting the lasers from high above, and they were invisible? And then you have the guy on the ground.
My god, dude. That fight was so hard.
That was my first like big struggle.
I gotta say, my first struggle was the very first boss of the tutorial.
Well,
at first,
okay,
I was like, this is challenging. And then it got easier, right? They try to like trick you. And then yes, that fight, I was getting so mad. I kept doing like the scanning thing to find them on the walls.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, these shots kill me in like 2 hits. Like, what the heck? But no, I think it's a really well
what
designed
is it?
game.
It's like 3 or 4 shots from
I know,
all
it's
directions.
Like
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was driving me crazy. But yeah, man, the more I play the game, the more I like it. It just feels so good. They did a great job with it. So yeah, I'm gonna keep playing that. Definitely, I've been slacking on completing games lately for sure. So I'm hoping this is the next game I'll complete.
I mean, I am convinced now. I mean, there's no one that does combat better. Like, I'm now I guess this is the best team for combat that exists in gaming, period. Like, it's so good. Yeah.
Totally agree.
All right. Starfield. Let me pull it up here. Hold on. Okay, yeah. 2 days, 4 hours. So what is that? Like, I don't know, 24
2 days, 4 hours.
40.
You've been playing Starfield for the link?
Like 52 hours. I'm in Starfield. I'm
nice.
So it's all I play. I have yet to like play anything else on the side. Any other time, I'm notorious for this. My friends joke about it constantly over this. Oh, jump into another game. Right? Which I don't care. I like to jump around the games, whatever. But even Zelda, I went almost a full week without touching anything else. Since Starfield's release, the first I've been playing? Technically the night before that. So I've been going like 12 days straight. If I'm playing a game, I'm just playing Starfield and I'm not playing anything else. And I'm obsessed. And I think it's so, so good. My favorite part is what I said on the last episode of my favorite part is I just love the narrative. Like, I will just be doing a mission even, or a side mission, whatever, or just doing whatever thing. And I walk by a person, they say something kind of interesting, and I'm like, I start listening for a bit. I go and talk to them, and I'm like, hey, I'm kind of interested in what's going on here. Maybe they're having an argument with a person or something, right? I listen in on the conversation, then talk to them after the fact, and start this whole chain of events. Here I am 6 hours later, still doing whatever this spread from, of just listening on a conversation. Has nothing to do with the main story whatsoever, but it keeps happening to me. It's happened about 15 times at least, if not 20 times.
Right.
And it's always led to really, really, really cool outcomes on meeting this person, seeing this cool experience, whatever the case is. And I'm like, I don't get how they made this because like planets and things that this game is so incredibly large. I'm like, I don't understand how I keep just finding small little things. Like, I'll be flying in space and I'll go and randomly like call in on another ship and I'll hear static on the other side and I'll be like, let me just board this and see what's going on. And here I am hours later down this rabbit hole and finding really cool things on the other side. And a lot of people I see complaining about the persuasion system. If you ever played or remember Oblivion, it's just ripped straight out of that, to where, let's say you have, like, you need to buy a part, they want to sell it to you for like 8,000, or you can just persuade them to get it cheaper or for free or something like that. Maybe you can convince them, hey, these people really badly need it, and so I want to see if I can get it cheaper. Persuade them. Well, I need 6 points in total, and I can choose one option, it gives me +1. Another option gives me maybe +2 or +3. Another option gives me +4, +5, something like that. So if I choose the +4, it's a dice roll. It doesn't actually show a dice rolling, but think like Disco Elysium or anything else. That's a dice roll. So I select it, and there's a chance of me getting a +4 to put towards that 6 in total in just one of the selections. And I have 3 more selections to go, and I can just choose ones, fill up the rest, and persuade them in. So anyway, but I'm having a lot of fun trying to persuade people to do things they definitely wouldn't normally want to do. And I'm pouring a lot of points into persuasion. I'm trying to just use my charisma persuasion to get things that I want. Because if I just kill them or I just steal whatever from them, you know, I can get whatever in that current moment outcome that I want.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can actually get them to like me, I can definitely use them much longer in the game, and they can become a big asset later on. You know what I mean? So I actually want to do that. I'm trying to think of a good example, and what I'll do is I'll just explain one. I mean, I've had, realistically, let's say 40 of these moments. That's a good way to put it in these 50 hours I've been playing. So I'll explain one of them just so you understand why these stories are really interesting. So I'm going to this planet, and it's, people know of it. It's called Neon, and it's basically like a cyberpunk sort of planet.
Okay.
And it has like neon lights, and there's a lot of like dark, deep, hidden things that are not very shady things happening in the streets and stuff like that, or like a lot of like sex things, or a lot of like really adult stuff and all of that up in this city.
Okay. Yep.
So I go there. When I first land there, I just need to talk to this guy. And he's like, hey, there's this ship that keeps communicating with us. And they're in front of this paradise planet. And we don't know why they're there. The paradise people keep bugging us because people on the planet are complaining about this ship just being out there. And it's looking really shady. And they're starting to think it's like aliens that may invade and try and kill them all or whatever. And we want you to go investigate and try to figure out why this ship is out there. I'm like, okay, I'll do so. Again, I could then go fly to that ship, just destroy the whole ship, kill everyone in it, and then it just be over, right? But I am genuinely curious, so I want to go up in the ship and see what's going on. So I go over to the ship. It's a couple, maybe a galaxy or two over. Okay. I get there, I board on the ship, and I talk to them. And they're like, oh, hey, wow, wait, you're a human? What's going on? And they're like, we've traveled from Earth. We left in 2100, right? The current time in this game is 2500. So they left Earth in 2100 saying the Earth maybe had 50 more years to go and it was going to get destroyed. So they had to like basically gather everyone they could, get onto the ship, and try to go to a new home planet to sort of like take over and start life again kind of deal. Well, their tech just really sucks, and they've been traveling super long, hundreds of years. And so generations of basically just people like, okay, they're having kids, the kids are growing up, they're having kids, and it keeps going for hundreds of years till they eventually reach this planet destination. Well, they finally get there after hundreds of years. They've only known of the people on the ship. They don't know any other life outside. They think there's no humans that exist at all. They just been on the ship for hundreds of years, don't know anything from the outside of their ship. All they know is Earth is destroyed, and they're the last survivors of the humankind. So when I board the ship, they're like freaking out. I open the door and they're like surprised that I'm a human. I go up in there, talk to them, all that. Long story short, they're trying to convince me to like, hey, can you go to the planet that we're basically above here and convince them to leave so we can start a civilization on this planet? We would rather not have people already there because, even if we try to do half and half, it's still going to make life really hard for us to start over again. If they can just all leave, because we've been waiting hundreds of years to claim this thing, this was our target planet, can you please do whatever you can to get them to leave? So I go onto the planet. Right. Again, it's a sort of paradise thing to where it's just like a tourist attraction, basically. Really pretty, like palm trees and all of that stuff. So they're clearly not gonna leave. No way, right? So I land on the planet. I go and talk to them. And the reason they let me even talk to the main guy is because I mentioned, hey, I'm trying to talk to you about this ship up in the sky. And they're like, oh my God, we've been wondering who the hell they are, what's going on. There's a lot of people scared of them, all of this mess. And so we're like, okay, cool. And I explain the message to them of what they're wanting. They're like, yeah, no way, right? We're definitely not leaving. So I do this whole like talking to this person, trying to come up with a plan of like, well, what do we do about it? Well, maybe if we can equip their ship with this gravity booster thing that's allow them to like easily go through a galaxy within just a few seconds instead of taking hundreds of years to travel through space, maybe they can just find a planet they'll like, right? But it's going to cost me a ton of money. And I'm like, should I even do this? Am I going to get rewarded for this? I mean, I could just kill them all right now and just end this whole thing instead of spending all of this money just for something I don't even know what the outcome's going to be. But, I'm like, screw, I'm too curious and I'm too of a good guy. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go through it all, right? So, I mean, this whole little quest bit took me about 4 or 5 hours. A lot more happened, but I don't feel like getting into it all. But long story short, I found this scientist that basically was able to figure out how to attach it to such an old ship, because no way would they even be able to attach it to something that old. But there was some sort of middle ground that somebody knew of. Hey, maybe this person knows a little more about it, blah, blah, blah. And it led into these chain of events that eventually led into helping this guy equip this part onto the ship and allow them to traverse. So now this ship, anytime I come across it, treats me as like their savior, and I'm like a god to them. And so I can get so much out of them, and they basically will do anything and everything I ask for. And they see me as just a god figure because I added this, I spent a crap ton of money and got them to actually just gravity jump through space. And they didn't even think such piece of tech was even available, or even existed. So there's just journeys like that that just exist, and it happens constantly. And I'm just really obsessed over just seeing. I'm too just on the edge of my seat. What's going to happen next in these chain of events? And
that's dope, man.
Yeah,
it does sound like a really cool game. I'm excited to eventually play that one. So,
but I figured, for the audience to at least be like, hey, here's at least one story that, because I just finished it, so I figured I'd explain that bit. But yeah, I'm like 52 hours in, and this thing is, man, I'm having a real hard time like choosing this and Zelda, because it's like
I know
I don't know what I'm gonna do there.
That's gonna be a hard one.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Not that I really technically need to, but anyway.
Right, I get what you mean.
Just for fun. All right. But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I guess before I move on, yes, I see all the complaints of like, I don't like this, I don't like this. And I can sit there and agree, and I can nitpick things about the game if I wanted to. Or I could just enjoy the game.
Enjoy it, live it up.
I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like,
I understand.
Yeah. All right.
The game looks cool, man. So.
Oh, I on the way home, I was listening to Snark Tank, which is Chris Ray Gunn's podcast they've been doing for years with his friends,
right.
And they were talking about it, and yeah, he was just, I think he's like 60 or 70 hours in, and yeah, he's obsessed as well and loving every bit of it. And I was just listening to his thoughts on it all, and so I'm seeing some people like I was watching who's Alana Pierce, right? Mm-hmm. It was like Gene Park from Washington Post, and then a guy from Kind of Funny, Andy Cortez or something.
Yep.
And they were all three talking on it. And Alana's like, 5-6 hours in. The other two were about 30-40 hours in. And Andy goes in this whole bit of like, hey, I did like maybe 2 or 3 hours of the main story, but I spent the last 16 hours on these chain of events with this side quest having to do with being like a space pirate, taking over this ship, that ship. And I have yet to even touch anything, and he mentioned something about not knowing who Vlad is, Vladimir, which if you played the game, you would know. You see him by like hour 4 or 5, if you even do like maybe one or two missions in the main story. You'll come across him pretty soon. But the fact that he's like 30 hours in, has yet to even know who this guy is, they're like, wait, what? So, holy crap, there's so much you don't know about this game. And it reminded me of a Zelda. Remember how I mentioned that the auto build, and you're like, wait, I didn't even know there was an auto build. there's very big functions that you can obtain of like new gameplay mechanics that you could be dozens of hours into a game and not even know that it exists. And it's that type of game, you know?
Yeah, I love when that happens.
Yeah. All right, let's get a new game to watch, and we'll get out of here.
All right.
Ad Infinitum. All platforms but Switch, September 14th. Axe? Or I guess...
Axolotl?
Axolotl? I don't... All platforms, September 14th. The Deceit 2, PC, September 14th. Dune Spice Wars, PC, September 14th. Monster Hunter Now. I actually do want to play this. September 14th, iOS and Android. That's that Pokemon Go kind of thing, but Monster Hunter. Solar Ash. Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One. Is that Game Pass? Because I might give that a shot if it is. I think that's the one that is.
I don't know. I think it is.
Right?
Sounds familiar.
Solar Ash. I think that's that. What is that? Solar Ash on Steam. I mean, it's a 9 out of 10 on Steam. Very positive.
Well, not bad.
Yeah, this game looks cool. It looks like the Hyper Life Drifter kind of deal. December 8th, 2022. Oh, it came out the end of last year. So what is it? Why is it? Oh, I guess it's just releasing on console, I guess. Anyway, September 14th. The Crew Motorfest. This is the new Crew game. I mean... I don't know. I don't have any interest, but all platforms but Switch, September 14th. Thunder Ray, all platforms, September 14th. Byte and Kratos 1 and 2 HD remaster. Byte and Kratos was a GameCube game. It was a RPG, JRPG, I want to say, but it had like the battle system was like using cards in a really interesting way. And it's like one of the 3 JRPGs for GameCube. But this game always looked cool. I never actually played it.
I remember that one. Yeah, me neither.
And so, I don't know. I might pick that up. 2, I think, came out on DS, I want to say. Anyway, September 15th, collection on Switch. And then Gloomhaven, PlayStation 5, all platforms, September 18th. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Again, I've said it 80 trillion times. It's just confirmed this is the best year in gaming, and I couldn't be any more busy with playing this or that, even though the last, almost 2 weeks has just been nothing but Starfield. And this has never actually happened to me this long, because I remember saying this about Zelda. I was like, dude, I played like a week straight and didn't play anything else. I'm like far beyond even that with Starfield, and I have yet to even want to see or play anything else. And I want to play it right now. I love
when that happens. That's awesome.
I mean, it's never happened to me, so I'm I cannot believe I like it this much.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with Starfield. So
very cool.
All right, I would love what I want someone to come onto the show that either loves it or doesn't like it at all, either way. And I just want to dive really deep into talking about this or that when it comes to Starfield, because I'm just itching at wanting to have like a deep talk about it, but with somebody that also either knows a lot or has a ton of problems with it, and we can banter back and forth on that.
That'd be awesome. I'm thinking now, man, this Phantom Liberty expansion is only like a week and a half away.
Oh yeah,
which is amazing. I didn't realize that. It's like
totally
2 weeks away, actually.
Slipped up. There's actually really big releases a part of this as well before the next episode.
Oh man,
releases.
It's so awesome. I love that.
Liza P, September 19th. That's hitting. Mortal Kombat 1, September 19th. all platforms, even Switch, if you remember. You Suck at Parking, all platforms, September 19th. Party Animals, Xbox and PC, September 20th. Days of Doom, all platforms, September 21st. And then Payday 3, September 21st, which that is Game Pass. So yeah, by the time this episode drops, before the next one does, all of that's also coming out. And I totally missed that second half of that, which is the strong titles there. I am interested in Liza P. Again, man, I can't. The only one out of this whole thing that like I may actually just straight up buy is Mortal Kombat 1, because I think that's going to be the fighter that I choose. And then Payday 3, that is released in Game Pass, and I'll give that a shot, just because I remember when Payday originally came out and I thought it was pretty neat, but I haven't really played it since. So I'm just kind of curious after all this time, how good is it now and all of that.
Yep. No, I'm curious to see how it turns out. So,
all right, well, that'll do it.
All right, man. See you guys later.
Yeah.